Hello everybody, welcome to the Steckline Report. Boy, the old cattle prices are climbing, aren't they? Not unsuspected to many of us in the business, I gotta tell you that. However, there's gotta be a stopping point sometime. A stopping point when those folks that we serve, called consumers, stop picking it up at the grocery store. Holy Toledo, I've seen some $30 a pound steak in some stores, not in the Midwest, mostly on the coast. But in any event, she's getting pretty strong. The live weight cattle too. I'm going to talk about that and the reasons why in a minute.
I first got started in the cattle business. My wife and my father-in-law got me into it. I love dealing with the animals and being in the outdoors. At American Ag Credit, I know a lot of them are in the same business that I am. Therefore they understand what I need and what problems I'm against, so they can work with you on it, and it makes it much easier.
It's been passed down to me through the generations, and I want to pass it on down to the next generation or two.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the little red tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Straub International can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horse ranging from 30 to 140, plus an army of attachments, a Farmall can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing, and then some. Visit Straub International, your Case IH dealer at any of our 7 locations to find a Farmall that's right for you.
Well, folks, this is the first of the year. Cattle inventory report from USDA, we told you a little bit about, showed all cattle and calves down about 2% from a year ago. The average guess was to be 1.5% lower, so we were lower on total numbers than the guessers even thought. Total cows were down about 1%, about the same as they thought. I guess the only earth-shaking news in the whole deal was that beef replacement cattle and the heifers primarily, up 2%. The trade was guessing it to be up even more than that, but that shows that we're holding back some of these old cattle to try to raise a few more. And at these prices, doesn't that make sense? There isn't anybody in the cattle business that wouldn't want to do that if they've got the right weather pattern to continue to do that. A lot of us in California and around the western part of the United States don't have that option, I'll guarantee you, until it rains a whole lot more. But with that in mind comes a cattle on feed report out a few days ago too, and it showed kind of a negative situation in some respects. First of all, the cattle on feed report showed feed placements into feed yards 9% higher than a year ago. I didn't like that figure. I thought that was kind of scary. The trade was guessing it to be about 3% or 6% higher, so it was about 3% higher than the trade was guessing on placements. Now, the total number on feed was 5% below last year, pretty much in line with what they thought. Marketings were down 5% as well, and so consequently this report kind of fueled some people thinking maybe we ought to get some cattle bought, because boy, they went to the feeder cattle auctions in the last week or so, and these old calves bringing a buck to $5 a hundred higher than they did the previous week. And those in the 5 to 800 pound range looked like they were the most desirable. This cattle on feed report indicates that maybe come the middle of the year we might have a little pressure on this cattle market. I'm not sure that's possible with the way things are going, because we can get rid of them so easily throughout a 6-month period of time that I don't think we're going to have a glut, even though some people may be thinking so. Fat cattle market moved stronger too. We've got a buck and a half, well, a buck 45 in the southern plains, $1.47 knocking the door on $1.50, and I'm sure there are some cattle that brought about $1.50. Interesting meeting in Louisville, Kentucky. The National Farm Machinery Show took place there a few days ago, and now, folks, we can plant corn at 10 miles an hour. That's what John Deere says. They've got a planter that'll do that. Corn, 10 miles an hour. Now, I got to tell you, that does feel a lot better than that 4 or 5 mile an hour stuff, but supposedly they've got a new drill that will do that, plant 10 miles an hour and do it accurately. So we keep hurrying up, don't we? Oh, by the way, the Federal Regulatory Commission issued an order early this month that requires the pipeline company out of Texas to ship more propane. The National Propane Gas Association filed that request earlier, and it looks like they're going to increase a pretty good amount of barrels of propane, and already have done that, maybe relieving the price pressure on that. And I know a lot of you folks use propane to heat your homes, and maybe a little break there. We don't need to be paying double very much longer. I hope we don't. And land sales, well, we've got a hot one that just happened in Nebraska. We'll talk about that and other items along those lines on the next Steckline Report. See you then.